and welcome to my very first ever video. I do want to give a warning. I have my dishwasher running in the background, so I don't know if you can hear that. I hope you can't, but oh well. So I figured for today I could kind of tell you, just kind of go over the books that I'm reading right now, kind of go through my bookcases. I also want to get some books out to unhaul, and then I just recently bought 2 new books, so very small haul, but we could also go over that. I also maybe want to update my reading journal and just kind of see where we go from there. So this is my first time ever actually talking about a book to a camera, so probably not the best lighting, probably not the best angle, but who cares? I'm currently reading, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we're reading War of Fire and Fury by Marianne Blackwood, which is the 5th and final book in the Flame and Throne series. Since it is the final book in the series, I don't really want to say too much that could be a spoiler, but basically in the first book, which we expand on all the other books, we're following Selena, who is a Seelie Fae, and she lives in the Seelie court, which is currently being ruled by the dragon shifters, more specifically the Ice Hearts in the Silver Dragon clan, which they're kind of considered the most dangerous just because of the different types of magic that they have. But in the first book, she's just kind of working as a fish cutter, and she's also part of a rebellion which plays a very big role in the first book. But in the court, since they are being ruled by the dragon shifters, the only way to gain their freedom from this court is to participate in the atonement trials, and those are held every few hundred years, and any fae can participate in it, but only 3 can be the winners. And Selena obviously joins the atonement trials, but when she's signing up, she's kind of seen as a weaker participant. Like, she's not going to get far because she has emotion magic, but because she has emotion magic, a lot of people don't trust her because she's able to manipulate people's emotions and do other things, like even just kind of like she calls it throwing out her magic, where she'll just kind of see what they're currently feeling rather than like actually manipulate anything. But they don't know that, they just see her eyes glowing, which means that she's using her magic, and they just assume that she's manipulating their emotions because the person on the receiving end can't tell that their emotions are being manipulated with. But anyways, there's also Draven, I don't know, but he's the commander of the dragon's army, and he works for the Ice Hearts, and he's like this ruthless character, or at least that's how he's being portrayed. And to Selena, he is basically everything that she hates. He's a dragon shifter, he fights with the Ice Hearts to control the Seelie court, but she keeps finding herself in situations with him, and so it's kind of like an enemies to lover situation in a way. There's a little bit of romance happening in the first book, but not too much. It feels more like hate to like rather than like a hate to love situation. But anyways, overall, I've liked the series a lot. I'm pulling from my reading journal right now just to kind of like see what I had rated them, because I did start reading this series. I started reading the series late last year. So the first book I gave 4 stars, and then the second book I also gave 4 stars, and then I didn't pick up the series again until April, mainly just because I was kind of getting into a reading slump and I wasn't as interested in reading. Although I will say the second book ended on a huge cliffhanger and I wanted to pick up the third book immediately, but because I knew I was going into a reading slump, I was like, oh, let me read some other books first, and then I just kind of got distracted and didn't pick it up again. But the third book in the series, I ended up giving like a 3.25. The fourth book in the series, I gave just an overall 3 stars. Right now, I'm about 53% of the way. I don't even think I said where I'm at in here. It's okay. I'm leaning towards like anywhere from a 3 to a 4 star. I like some of the things that are going on in here, but there's also parts where I'm like, I don't really care. Like, can we just get to the point? And some of it feels very rushed, whereas other parts feel like they're taking a long time, which I can understand because it's trying to build suspense. This is the last book in this series. These are events that we've been working up towards. But I don't know, I'm not feeling as connected with them as I thought I would. But I am really liking other parts of it. Like I said, I really like the found family in here. I like watching the side characters also kind of get their own little plots of like romance and friendship, but we're always in Selena's point of view, so it's only from like an outsider looking into that friend. But overall, I think I like it. I don't love it, I will say that. Definitely not going to be a 5-star, but it's currently 11 o'clock and that's why we're in such bad lighting and a bad angle. But yeah, I think that's probably where I'm going to end this update, and hopefully I will read some more. I kind of want to get to like the 75 mark tonight, maybe finish it. I probably won't. I'll probably just get to the 75 and then we'll see where I go from there. So I did pull the books down that I want to unhaul already. So the first one that I'm gonna unhaul is I Love You Are for White People. I read this book for school. I didn't really enjoy it. It's just a genre that I don't really like that much. I think that it had a lot of powerful statements in it and it had a lot of good symbolism, but it's just not a book that I'm reaching for. I don't really want to keep it on my shelf. It just reminds me of school and I don't really want to think of school. So that's the first book. The next book is Colette. And this is, I think, 4 books in one. I kind of got this book because I thought it would be like a cute coffee table book. But now I don't really have a big coffee table. I've moved since then, and so my coffee table is a lot smaller. I can't really have coffee book like books for the coffee table. And also, again, another book that I don't really reach for. I don't see myself reading it within the year, just because the books that I have on my bookcase are either books that I really, really enjoyed, I want to see all the time, or books that I want to hopefully pick up within the year. And this is just one of them that I don't ever see myself picking up. The next one, this is another one I read for school, the Underground Railroad. I liked it. Again, had a lot of great symbolism telling you the story of something that realistically happened and the terrible life that follows with that, and how to kind of grow and become your own person, things like that. But again, another book I read in school. I don't see myself picking it up. It's not a genre that I like very much. So I kind of just want to not have this on my shelf anymore. The next book is Camp. I did have this on my bookshelf for a while. This is like a young adult queer romance, which sounds very interesting, but I have learned over the years that I don't like YA romances, and so because of that, it kind of deters me from actually ever picking this up. I am gonna see if one of my friends want to read it, just because they do like to read that type of stuff, so we're gonna see if they want it, but trying to hopefully get this off my shelf. It does sound very interesting. I am very interested in the romance, but it's YA and I don't tend to like that. So next we have Iron Widow. I did actually read this, as you can tell by all the tabs. I didn't like it. I don't know if it was, maybe I just didn't understand something. This was also kind of like my first introduction to sci-fi, and I just really did not like it. I didn't understand it. By the time that I got to the end of the book, I was like, okay, I don't care. I don't care to pick this up again. I don't care to continue this series. So I want to get this one off. I don't know. I'll probably take the tabs out. I didn't actually write in it. Even though I tab, I don't write in my books. So I'll probably take those out before I get rid of this. And the last and final book that I took off is The Final Case. I originally picked this up because the pages, I don't know if you can really see that, but I read about 45% of this book, which isn't a lot. It's a really small book, but I literally did not care at all. And the main character is the son of a detective, and so you're like, oh cool, we're gonna learn about his dad's like final case and him working as a detective. No, the main character is like, yeah, I dropped off my dad at his office, and then I went to the park and I walked around and I sat on a bench. I don't care. I want to know what your dad's doing in his office, not what you're doing. So this is another book I'm trying to get rid of. So this is what my shelves are looking like right now. I don't have a tripod, so my hand is gonna have to do, and hopefully it's not too shaky. My shelves are a little bit random. So like this one here is my rainbow shelf. It's either like standalones or books that are in a series that I don't mind being separated, like The Housemaid. I have the second book over here, and then these are just kind of my random books. Some of these are YA books. I also have Dracula up there. Then we have this one. This clock does not work, but it's still really cute. This is my black shelf, so all my books on this shelf are heavily black and have darker tones to them. And right next to it, we have my romance shelf, and also this vase that has all my bookmarks in it, as well as this one that my friend got me when they were in Japan, and I just kind of have it out on display. Next we have the Sarah J. Maas shelves. So both of these are Sarah J. Maas books. I've only read this series by her, but I've been collecting these books to read. And then next we have my Jennifer L. Armentrout shelf, as well as my Prison Healer series. And over here, again, kind of random books, the Scythe series, and then we have This is like a horror book. This is a romantasy. This is technically the second book in a series, and I did not know that when I bought it. We have my 2 books that I have just kind of out on display. And then we have my hardcover books. And then these were some random books that I just kind of had sitting around. Then over on this shelf, these are my 2 most recent books. I still haven't figured out where I want to put them. Then we have my Guild series by, or I think it's the Plated Prisoner series. And that's by Raven Kennedy. And then we have my Cassandra Clare book there. And then here, we just kind of have more random books. Both of these are books that I needed space for, but I didn't know where to put them. So there's not really any rhyme or reasons why these are there. Okay, so as you guys saw earlier, I did read a little bit more. Then I went ahead and did that unhaul and showed y'all my bookcases. I did finish the 4th book, which is The War of Fire and Fury by Marion Blackwood, and that's what we're seeing right now is me doing my spread for that book. I love that sticker. It's such a cute sticker. Overall, I really did enjoy the book. I felt like it really picked up after about like chapter 40-ish, like the last 20 chapters were very, very intense. I really, really enjoyed it. Overall, I rated the book a 4-star. I would say the series overall is probably like a 3.75 for me. I did really, really enjoy this last book at the end, but I will say the beginning, I just kind of really didn't care what was happening. I didn't care what was going on. I felt like there were parts that were really, really repetitive and didn't matter, and then there were parts where I'm like, that was supposed to be really dramatic, and it felt very anticlimactic. So that did kind of bring it down for me. But I will say the found family in this book was amazing. Getting to see the closure for all the characters, not just the main characters, like the side characters and characters who I wouldn't even really say are side characters. They're just kind of there, and them even getting closure felt like a really nice way to end the whole series. So obviously don't read what I'm writing if you don't want spoilers, but overall I really did enjoy the series. I gave it a 4-star for this final book. And then I think after this, you are going to see me do the monthly wrap up for April, which I did a golf theme, so you'll see that just a little bit. I don't really show it, but I kind of want to do a more in-depth overview next month. Also, I did order a tripod and also a mic, so hopefully my next video will be a little bit better. But yeah, after this, that's the end of the video. So just see me finishing this out and doing a little bit of math while I'm filling out that monthly overview. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.